Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters and brothers. It's your brother Kevin Muhammad on the West Coast, bringing to you the Injil. And if I'm not saying that right, that's Injil, Injil. And since I'm talking English, so you can understand where that it's the gospel that Jesus spoke 2,000 years ago. So I'm getting my understanding and teaching from the one who broke the seals, the sealed Bible. The Bible is being sealed and until the end of times, and this is the end of times, not the end of times of the world, the end of times for the present day ruler who have not ruled justly in the world. They end. So there will be come one who would break those seals in the Bibles, speaking on Revelation and the last book of Daniel, and to reveal to us that which we need to continue the world, continue it not in the ways of the one who only had a short time to live, but to continue it back in the way that the original gods meant for it to be. So, and the master Solomon is the one who broke those seals. And then from those sealed Bible, what he has given us is the true knowledge of self. Everybody that had the Bible for, say, the Europeans say the last 500 years. We'll go back 500 years. And they have gotten what they have gotten from it. Well, now it's time for us to get what we're supposed to get from it. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to get from it is back in power. And the power that I'm speaking of is since we are the creators of the universe, or we gave the universe form. The universe was here, but we gave it form with our knowledge and understanding. So we are the creators of the form universe. So what the sealed Bible has revealed in the Injil is that, we volunteered to be the punching bag for 400 years. So that takes us to the Abraham covenant. So the Abraham covenant is the covenant that God made with Abraham. I'm quite sure you heard about it. And if you didn't, I'm going to give you a small reminder of it. The first one was Master Farad Muhammad. He came back in 1930 and he resurrected the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had, we were at that time in a pitiful condition. We wasn't moving forward in the real sense, we were moving backwards. So Elijah Muhammad, after being taught by Master Farad Muhammad, put the brakes on that and he put us in neutral. And he told us we was gods. Gods, Muhammad? I said it, G-O-D, gods. And the women are the goddess. So by him giving us that understanding, we stood up and started seeing ourselves different than what was the vision that had been placed in our mind and in our eyes about us. So we were no longer niggas, coons, or jungle bunnies in our new understanding that we were the children of Israel, the seed of Moses. Abraham. That's right, Abraham, we're that seed. And the way Elijah broke it down, the seed of Shabazz. We were in what they call North Africa at the time, and we got into our understanding and knowledge of ourselves. But you know, we got sold into slavery, and the story we've been here for 400 years. We got here in 1555. I know you know that, and it took 64 years to break the first so-called ninja to roll off the assembly line. So that take us to 1619. They used the terminology that we were slaves. But if you look up the definition of slaves, that's not the definition that those who were so-called slaves before us, that's not the same definition. Those people didn't treat it like that. Usually, a slave, if you go conquer a certain village or conquer a certain state or whatever the case may be, the captures of that state, might had to be forced to work for you, and do your bid. You know what I'm saying? But when it came to the black man and the black woman of America, when they brought us over here, took us out of our land, at that time we was free and we was doing our will and not their will. We was doing our labor and not their labor. We was in our vision and not their vision. So therefore, they seen what we was doing. They seen that we were doing things that was greater than what they were doing. They were in the so-called Dark Ages in Europe with the bionic plague. You know what I'm saying? So they used all the topsoil in their land. So, they was running out of food and running out of different things. So they needed a new land. So anyway, they ended up in America, and they couldn't. They didn't know how to do certain things, but we knew how to do them. So they came over there and got us 1555, and then brought us here. But of course, we resisted and fought back, and it took 64 years to convert us into the first so-called ninja roll off the assembly line. But like I said, the way they treated us was totally different than the previous so-called slaves. The previous so-called slaves didn't get their name taken, didn't get their so-called religious taken. They women wasn't raped, and they man wasn't sodomized, and they children wasn't sexually abused. You done seen the pictures, 20 Years a Slave, the most recent one. They might have, a few more out after that, but you seen what they did. Homeboy was a violin player, and, they, after he got through playing his violin, he got paid, and then, a couple of cave dwellers took him to dinner and told him that, hey, we got somebody who want to hear your violin. You the best violin player that we have ever seen. So anyway, he ended up in slavery. You seen the picture, you seen what happened to him, but you also seen what the owner, the slave master that had received him, what he was doing to the sister. She was a young looking woman. I don't know what the age she was, but, after his wife go to sleep, he would leave the house and go get her, so unwillingly sex, which is called rape, So, he raped and abused her and, and used her and did what he did. And then later in the movie, if you remember, he was walking around with a little girl. So, other words, the 16 or 15 or however old sister was or portraying in the movie, he didn't need her no more. You know, she had got old to him. So now he walking around with a little girl about 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? And which was gonna be his next victim. But they tell us, and they try to show, let us know that hey, this is all changed and everything is honky dory now. And we supposed to forget, those 400 years of not being able to read, not being able to write, and none of that stuff. It ain't that we didn't want to know how to read or we didn't want to know how to write. They passed laws, whereas we couldn't read or write. Because if you got somebody who can read or write, and then, they ain't going to stay under that so called system, you know. So therefore, that was against the law. So fast forward from 1619, when the first ninja rolled off the assembly line, you add 400 years onto that. That'll bring you to 2019. So when they brought us here, they know the scriptures, they know the books, and they know what time it was. So, they created their plague, disease to wipe us off the planet. That was their plan, to get rid of us. But it mutated. Instead of affecting us, it affected them. You have to go back into when it first started, and get what they were advocating on their news channels. They were telling us that it's not affecting blacks, but in all the European countries, it's affecting them. So they knew what time it was. They know scripture as well as you might think you know. But the scriptures were sealed for us. They were sealed for us because we had to do this sojourning, as the God had made a covenant with Abraham that we would be here for 400 years. So we've been here for 400 plus years, 464. Do the math, you can add it up. You know what I'm saying? They say a generation can be 20 to 30 years. So if you just put, that 20 into 400, and you see how long that, how many generations that we didn't read or write or know how to read or write. Even though they came up with, supposed to have freed us in 1865, and we were supposed to be freed. So, it's just like you let a man, he been in prison for, 20 years, and you let him out. You don't give him nothing to get back to his hometown. You know what I'm saying? You don't give him no bus fare or no money to get no food. So in a sense, that's how they kind of left us, But since we had been doing all the work, we had been doing all the building, and then when they came and got us from the motherland, Saudi Arabia and Africa, them areas, that's what they call it today. We didn't call it that, but that's what they're calling. So I want to keep you into the understanding of, cause this is where we at, and and we're under their so-called teaching. So I'm just going to keep it simple so we can understand. So after our sojourn here, the God said that he would send one, and that one would resurrect us back into the knowledge of self. So we know Elijah, Master Farad Muhammad came, and he reminded us. He taught Elijah Muhammad for 3 years and a half, and told him that, hey, the Abraham covenant is ready to come up, and you are not that what your slave master say you are. You be gods, and your women be goddess. So, so Elijah went to work to let us know this. And, not only did he go to work, but he, put things together, whereas we had our own buildings, our own laundromats, our own banks, our own trucking business, our own planes, our own food markets, our own laundromats. So we were, in a sense, in our own world. But Master Farad Muhammad came in 1930. So Elijah rolled off and started doing what he did for 42 years. So after Elijah left, Louis Farrakhan was put in his seat because he was in charge. He was the national spokesman, so he was in charge. So in one of his lectures, he advocated that the FBI destroyed everything, but that's not the truth. Those who were there revealed the truth that he let Wallace come in and con him. Wallace was banned from the nation, but he let him come in and con him. And, he told him he was going to break him off something. And once Wallace liquidated all the assets of the nation, Farrakhan got kicked to the curb. Do your research. If you do your research, you understand and find out that, what I'm saying ain't no lie. You can do it yourself. And all of you that's in the Nation of Islam now, we supposed to be intelligent. We supposed to think for ourselves. We supposed to analyze and dissect things. Elijah Muhammad said we had to crack the atom. We had to crack everything. And if this man say left, we should go right. And if he say right, we should go left. But after Elijah Muhammad, like I said, this is a sealed Bible. After Elijah Muhammad will come in Malachi, it stated that one would come, the messenger of the covenant, and he would reveal by breaking the seals of the Injil, which is Revelations, and the last book of Daniel, that he will reveal that which will allow us to put on the armor of God. See, it's one thing to say you God, but to put on the armor of God is a whole different deal. You know what I'm saying? So the Injil, and if I'm not saying that right, Sinjil, revealed that to the Son of Man, Master Solomon, the messenger of the covenant. So that's what he's been doing since 1990. So he's been on his job. So I didn't hear him in 1990. Matter of fact, I went into the Nation of Islam in 92. So when I went in, I wrote my letter. I went through the process. You know what it is. I don't have to tell you and go through that. You know what it is. And, I got the basics of, a Muslim. So therefore, fasting, the 5 pillars of Islam, and pushing the final call and the things to that nature, doing for self. So that's what I got. So that was in 92. See, so Solomon broke the seals. I didn't hear Master Solomon until the end of 2019. So when I heard him, I heard one of his lectures. It hit me like a lightning bolt. Bam! I'm like, whoa. You're like, Muhammad, why did it hit you like that? Well, it hit me like that because what Master Fard Muhammad had came to reveal about the Abraham covenant, in a sense, it kind of got buried in my mind. You know what I'm saying? With the natural tasks of working and taking care of your family and everything else you do. So therefore, it kind of got dropped into my memory. So when Master Solomon in his lecture spoke of the Abraham covenant, you know what I'm saying? I immediately was attracted to that. It resonated in my dome. So I started listening to him, you know. So he was talking and teaching and proceeding through his lecture, and he would say a few things about Louis Farrakhan that was kind of, shocking to me again. I'm like, wow, why would he say that? So I went on and kept listening to the lecture, but it kept on, I kept asking myself, why would he say that? So after you keep asking yourself, you might as well go to the person that's talking about the person to see what's up. So I called him, video chat through Facebook, and we had that conversation. He could have shut me down and told me whatever the case may be, but he didn't. He just let me know that, hey, I was there. And as I stated prior, I didn't get into 1992. So anyway, I proceeded to keep listening to Master Solomon. And as I kept listening and kept understanding and kept downloading his lectures and kept analyzing them from my perspective, from my understanding. And then I seen that this was the man I wanted to stand with, not follow, because he don't accept no followers. See, so I wanted to stand with him and keep listening to his lectures and keep understanding the unsealed Bible. And that unsealed Bible was basically giving us revelations of the time now and telling us about things not that had happened, but what will happen. See, so in the Nation of Islam, we taught by Elijah Muhammad that we write history 25,000 years in advance and walk into it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm walking into my history and I'm walking into my mission. And it's not mission impossible. It's not mission impossible. Well, Muhammad, why ain't it mission impossible? You got to go against the Nation of Islam. You got to go. Farrakhan is well established. He been preaching for 42 years. You know what I'm saying? Well, why wouldn't it be mission impossible? Well, it's not mission impossible because, like I said before, we write history 25,000 years in advance and then walk into it. So I'm in the time of my mission. I'm in the time of my mission. And the fellow Injil warriors who heard Solomon is in the time of their mission. Master Solomon, the wisest man on the planet today. Muhammad. Where did he get that title? Well, Elijah said we gods. You think just any man can tell us about God and how to be a God? He put the mathematical thinking behind Islam. And you already know that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. But you never heard the formulas that Master Solomon has given to us. So that's why, nobody's forcing you and nobody's trying to make you. I can't convince you. All I am is having a conversation with you. And when I say with you, I'm sitting in my room at my house talking to you through, I'm going to download this and put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to those who pick it up and might want to hear. But I don't want to keep you long. I'm still a student in the class, and there's other students in the class who's been in a little longer than me. So they'll give you information that I'm still learning. We got Brother Malik, we got Brother Dave, we got, just to name a few, Sister Fatima, Sister Nicolette, you know what I'm saying? Just to name a few, all of them was in before me, so therefore I'm learning from them too. So, but Master Solomon is the main teacher. So, in the process of learning, I want to give you that which I am receiving, and hopefully you'll look on Facebook, you see the videos of the lectures, you know what I'm saying? You see the different comments that's being made. So, it's all you have to do is check it out for yourself. Now, if you don't get that electrical shock that I got, hey, then maybe you already got that cartoon mind. See, because he gives a lecture breaking the dumb barrier, and you done heard me talk on that, you know what I'm saying? So, breaking the dumb barrier is, what my mama might have told me, I took it to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But that was far from the case. See, my mama was born in 1921. And if we've been in slavery for 400 years and they so-called freed us in 1865, so my mama was, if they go by 20 years or 30 years with the difference in a generation, she was a generation and a few days out of it if it's 30 years, and a generation and 10 to 15 years if it was 20 years. So you do the math and find out when you was born and how long up out of so-called slavery you was in. But the word slavery don't describe the condition, the way they treated us compared to slavery that was delivered to those who, say, after a war, got captured and became concubine. So they had to work and do work and forced to do work under their captors, whoever caught them. You know what I'm saying? That's the spoils of war. Our condition was totally different from that. See, our condition, as I stated, was totally different. They was raping us, men and women and children. You seen the different movies that's been out, but you had to do your own research, and then you can come to your own conclusion, and and find out if this is beneficial to you. But the NGO revealed that things already get real bad. We're under presidents, how you said, we're ready to get, the lights is ready to be put out by this present day ruler. But those who download the Injil, we're going to be that light in intense darkness. Because as I had stated, the Injil tell you what's going to help, what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And if you download that and understand it and do your studies, you'll be able to prophesize about the future. So if you know what's going to happen, then you can dodge the bullet. You know, so anyway, brothers and sisters, I don't want to hold you up, you know. As I learn and study the Injil, I will be able to come back and give you more, but I'm inviting you to study it, study Master Solomon lectures and, you know, do it for yourself. Study Master Solomon lectures and come up with your own conclusion. If you want to take on your godliness, if you want to be prepared for the war, you would need to be suited and booted. And I'm not talking about just no suit with a bow tie. I'm talking about the full armor of God. Master Solomon give us the mathematical pillars of Islam. So come on and study with me and help me wake up our people. You know what I'm saying? And I'll meet you on the battlefield. As I came before you in peace, so shall I leave you. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.